Hey guys, today we are looking at a very crucial aspect of programming, logical thinking skills. I have spoken with upcoming programmers, beginners, and they want to know what is the most important skill I need to have as a developer to succeed in that journey. One of such is logical thinking skill. What this do for you is it helps you to break down complex problems into bits, and during the process of writing programs, providing solutions to challenges, because in the whole phase of development, what you are trying to do is that you are trying to provide solution to a problem. Having this skill is going to help you optimize and get the most of your development journey. So what are the logical thinking skills you need as a developer? One of such is analytical thinking. As a developer, you should be able to identify patterns. Do I need to be a mathematician to be able to do that? Not necessarily, but you need to have that ability to identify patterns. Apart from identify pattern, you should be able to break down complex challenge or problem into simple bits. Take for instance, you want to create a Chrome extension. You ask yourself, what do I need to be able to succeed in that? You have to undertake research to know the tools you need to be able to carry out that task. First, you may need VS Code, Visual Studio Code, which is the IDE for your development. You will definitely need a browser, all right, to able to run the Chrome extension. Then you need to have scale. You need, for front end, you need maybe React or AngularJS or Vue to be able to do that. We are breaking down the pattern of that problem. So ability to break down pattern is an analytical skill that you should have as a developer. Then you should be able to analyze data. All right. You should have the ability to structure out data. I have a complete video about database. You can check it out on the channel or on our page. Secondly, you have problem solving strategies. Ability to divide and conquer. That is divide and conquer rule. If you have a large chunk of challenge or problem, then you divide them into bits. That is another logical thinking skill you need as a developer, into tiny bits. So by dividing them, you conquer one part, leaving the other aspect for you to divide and conquer, which is a very, very important skill for you to possess as a developer. Trial and error. Everything is not fixed, and there is no one part fit all aspect to programming. Sometimes you will need to try out some things, how they work or why they are working. That is why there is a very common meme in programming for developers. Your code is working. Why? You ask yourself, why? It's working. Why? Your code is not working. Why? So there is always a why for programmers to answer. Even as a junior developer, you should develop this skill. If you need logical reasoning skill, you should be able to familiarize yourself with if statements. Then you have the if-then statement, and you also need other forms of loop, while loop, if-else loop, and would loop. So these are going to help you analyze a problem. If it is not this, the other. Maybe you say the age is 30 years. If this boy is 5 years old, then do not print this. If it is that age, print this. Else, print this. So that is, you are breaking down a problem using logical reasoning. Then you have loop. You can look through a system. You go through it from one point to the next, from one point to the next. And if that solution is not there, then you move out of the loop. It is there, then it executes. If it doesn't work in that loop, print the statement. If it is within the loop, print this statement. So again, you need debugging and troubleshooting skill. As a developer, this is one area you should be good at. Everybody gets stuck. Even the most advanced of developers or programmers, they get stuck. The difference is that the senior guys, they know where to find the solution. Stack Overflow, using AI, googling, and all those things. They easily identify patterns. They can know how to easily find the solution. For the junior, what differentiates them is that they spend our time looking for this solution. So everybody Googles stuff. Everybody Googles solutions. But how do they go about it? So know that you need debugging skills. One example or one solution I always recommend is that have a personal notes, or it can be on your computer or wherever, where you write debugging solutions. Because if you have a problem, how did you solve it? In building a software or a website, how are you able to solve the problems? Document that on one hand, keep it so that when you come across that problem again another time, you should be able to solve it. That is where Git comes in. You should have, setting commands. You should know some. You don't have to memorize them, but you should know what works and what works best. Again, errors. 3 major types of errors in programming. There are others, but majorly you have the syntax error, the runtime error, and the logical error. So you will always come across this error. The last but not the least is the algorithm thinking. That is step-by-step structure on how to carry out a process. Take for instance, you want to prepare a meal. The algorithm for that is the step involved. You put your pot in fire, you do this, you add water, you add your salt, your Maggi. Again, in programming, we apply the same steps. What are the step-by-step process of building the application or building the mobile app? You have to use the most efficient solution. It's very important because you are not writing code for writing's sake. You are writing code to solve a problem. And in solving a problem, every company wants an efficient solution for that problem. So you cannot just, you can build a solution, you compare it with another, you pick the most efficient. That is what you are going to use. Scalability, yes, as a developer, you need to be able to scale your solution, right? If you are handling 50 people in your database, what if you have 1,000? You should be able to scale from 50 in your database. You should be able to handle 1,000. Like Mark, when they were building Facebook, they just planned it for the student in college. But today, they have scaled, and Facebook is serving billions of people in the whole world. So that is scalability. Your solution should be able to scale up. If, take into cognizance, what if I have more people coming to my website? Will it going to crash? How do I, scale from that little one I have to where we want to take the software, the web application, or the mobile application? So these are just the common ones of outline. Thank you. I hope you found this video helpful. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on YouTube and on Facebook. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.